We saw you with films like Colette and all those other movies. I mean, was it fun to kind of break free from all of that stuff and do something that was a lot of fun and a little bit wicked, shall we say?
Yes, I mean, I'd been doing stuff that was very subtle and quite serious, and this was an opportunity to be completely silly, look like a cake, be totally demented, and not have even an iota of subtlety to anything about my performance or my look.
We spoke earlier at the junket. What I was going to ask you was about the kind of physical challenges, because you go through a lot. There's, climbing, there's fighting. I mean, what did you find was the most kind of intimidating thing about all of that stuff?
Ooh, I really liked it. I'm a very, very physical. I do martial arts, so any form of stunt I was really, really excited about. The climbing part was really fun. I really enjoyed that. And like the giant thing that they built that I climb on, they really built that, and it was massive. And I was on wires and I was climbing. I really, really had fun with that.
Huge Disney production,
massive.
What was the experience like being on a movie that's so big?
So magical, and just such a incredible experience, and to work with Disney was so extraordinary.
You must be delighted with the turnout and everything else.
And I'm seeing a lot of the actors that I hadn't yet met, so I'm like, oh.
In terms of the portion that you're in, I mean, how much say did you have in what it was? Obviously, it's the classic ballet, but I mean, was there any changes you wanted to bring, anything different that the guys knew you wanted to bring?
It gave me all the freedom. They just literally are like, whatever you want to do, and I was like, as a dancer, you're not used to that at all. It's like every little step and move that you do is like, you're told to do by a ballet master. So it was awesome that they entrusted in me, being the expert, that they're like, we don't know ballet, so what do you think? So I had a lot of freedom, which was amazing, especially within this very, special and classical ballet story. I brought in the choreographer, Liam Scarlett, who's choreographer in residence with the Royal Ballet. I had worked with him before, and I kind of just put everything in his hands. I was like, I know him, I trust him, I've worked with him. And he just kind of took over. He was there on set, and he would literally create things in the moment in front of the camera, like, okay, just do this, and he'd choreograph, and I'd copy him, and they'd record it. But yeah, they gave me a lot of freedom. It's just amazing.
This is a big deal for a young actor, right? Disney movie. It's a big deal. How did you find it?
Shooting was so exciting. It was a lot of fun. It was very stressful, but the whole team just helped me get through it. I'm loving it. I'm 100%. It's hard to put it in words.
Starting at the very beginning, from the concept and then working through the development process until we filmed it, and all the way until it's being released. And it's been absolutely sensational to work on such a big, spectacular, fun holiday movie that we hope everybody loves.
Obviously, you've got the Nutcracker part of it, but when you have something like Disney involved, you get kind of all the best tools to play with. I mean, that must have given the film such great scope to have those tools at your disposal.
You have no idea. They were sensational. They really wanted to create a classic and something that people would watch every single year and just experience Christmas, and the holidays in a very joyful, fun way.
You've played some amazing roles over your career, but wearing a nice kind of tiara-ish kind of face head thing must have been something that you obviously want to tick off your list of things to do in your career.
Well, it took a very long time. I was in makeup, and a very, very heavy headpiece and everything, but that's part of the job. And the thing of being transformed by Jenny Sherkow's extraordinary makeup design and Jenny Bevan's absolutely astonishing costumes, it's like a gift for an actor, because you feel like they're giving you all the stuff on the outside to finish off.
I know you're a Chelsea fan. Did you enjoy the game last night?
I loved it. Should we just talk Chelsea? Because have you ever seen all four sides of a stadium singing Super Frankie Lampard and cheering for him? And it's very moving. I was very, very moved by the whole thing. I thought it was football fans are often told that they're awful people and they're just materialistic, fat slobs, but actually they respond to loyalty and they respond to pure human intentions and virtues, and we saw that. I thought it was a very moving night.
Yeah, I went to...
And Derby nearly scored. I was hoping we'd go... Because Derby scored most of Chelsea's goals, I was hoping it would go to penalties and Derby would score all of the goals, including Chelsea's. I was looking forward to it.
The voice reminded me a lot of Audrey from Little Shop of Horrors. I mean, was that any influence from that at all?
I didn't even think of Audrey from Little Shop of Horrors. No, it was entirely I'm an actress that likes to do a lot of research, and there's not much to go on when you're playing the Sugar Plum Fairy. So I watched all of the dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy on YouTube, and I thought, well, I can't do any of that, so that's no good. But obviously the theme to the Sugar Plum Fairy dance, I thought, oh, well, that's the most famous thing, isn't it? So maybe I can find that, and then I laughed it, and I thought, oh, that's quite interesting. And then what do you know? She's sugary and sweet, so the voice just went up, and everything just followed from there. Really, I made it up.
And I mean, the CGI, I mean, I know you've done it before, but how for an actor, I mean, how challenging is it to work with the green screen? You have to kind of use, I guess, your imagination as much as possible.
Well, because these sets were so practical, a lot of what you've seen in the film really existed. So there wasn't really that much green screen, but for the parts that was, for like the Mouse King and some of the soldiers, you kind of just, and what was actually really cool, like even like the backgrounds are some of the things in the film. If you went on the monitors, they had a preliminary image of it. And so if you didn't know what it was, you could just walk over and see it. And so that was really cool. It was another very unique aspect of this film.
There's a great kind of family dynamic between you and Mackenzie and all your family and Matthew and everybody else. I mean, what was it like playing that? Because it's a family that's kind of obviously in a bit of turmoil at the time.
Yeah, it's a family that's experiencing extreme loss. And I think, it's a family trying hard to knit itself back together after losing a mother, which is just something that is really not possible. So they're just trying to, work and strive as forward as best they can. And I think Louise is trying to help Clara in the best way that she possibly can.
Yeah. You do a Disney film, that's a big deal, and then you add in Helen Mirren, Morgan Freeman, Keira Knightley, Mackenzie Foy. I mean, that must be great for not only the experience, but for their experience to rub off on you as well.
Yeah, it was nice to be working with such trained actors and actresses, because it was like, these people have such experience in the business, and they're just not just sharing their knowledge with me, they're sort of just showing me the ropes a little. And I was like, I'm so blessed to be with these people. Yeah. And
obviously you get to throw down with a few toy soldiers. That must have been fun. And wield a sword. That's every little boy's dream, right?
Yeah, they showed me how to wield a sword and just run around, do some slashing, some action. I was like, you know what? This is how you do cool stuff. You know what I mean? This is the cool dreams.
You've got a great cast, but also behind the camera you've got great directors, great musicians, Misty Copeland as well. I mean, a plethora of amazing people. You must have been delighted with the range of people that you got for this.
You work with people who are the best at what they do, and you just sit back, and I was in awe every day of how talented every single person was. So, from the cast, the crew, every single person, not a detail went looked over.
And I mean, in terms of, it's obviously a big kind of family spectacle for age 8 to 80, even if not younger and older. Yes. I mean, it's for everybody. I mean, are you hopeful that this brings a wide range of audiences, but also kind of involves them in the Nutcracker story if they don't know it beforehand?
That would be an absolute dream. Not everybody gets the opportunity to go to the ballet every single year. And so we really wanted to be able to bring that to everybody so that they would have an opportunity to experience this holiday classic.
One of the great things is that there's lots of physical sets. I mean, you guys are in there, not the CGI, but there's so many physical sets. I mean, what was it like being around those amazing creations?
I've never seen sets like that before. You literally felt like every day you were walking into a kind of magic land. Genuinely, all of us would go, oh my God, even if you're sort of jaded and you've seen extraordinary things, I've never seen sets like this before. And the detail in them was, the production design and just all of it was sort of breathtaking. So I hope that comes across in the movie.
How do you get into the mindset of a toy soldier? What's the method behind that?
It's very difficult, I have to say, because it's a toy soldier who comes to life. And then when I looked into the brain of a toy soldier, there's nothing but pure hard wood. There's nothing there. Therefore, there's nothing to research. So actually, it was great.
Nice and easy. And you get to work with Jack Whitehall. I can imagine the two of you had quite a laugh together.
I love Jack Whitehall. Jack Whitehall was someone I met him 10 years ago as a young comedian at the Comedy Store. And now and again, you see a comic talent come through. And I never remembered his name. People say, who are the young comedians? I like this guy. What's his name? He's a young posh boy who's very funny. But now I know his name. So it was great to work with him and great to work with another friend, Lasse Hallström. So actually, all my scenes were with Jack and Lasse. So it was like being with friends. I never felt I was working on a big movie. It was just like working with two old friends. So it was very relaxed.
And how would you describe your Sugar Plum Fairy? She's just so feminine,
She's sort of a psychotic cake with wings and candy floss hair. Cool.
You eat it, actually.
And I eat my hair, yeah. I mean, and who doesn't want to eat their own hair? Sure.
And then this is a sort of movie that could be sequels. I mean, are you up for more if they were to invite you back to go back to the Four Realms?
Yeah, I think it would be amazing. I think it would be really cool to see what mischief Clara gets into next.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've gone from one big thing to another big thing. You're doing Les Mis, which is obviously a huge thing playing. Because, I mean, obviously we've seen the show and the movie was such a success. This one obviously is a kind of a straight drama, if you like. I mean, what's the experience been like on something like that?
I mean, the proportion of Les Mis is epic, and I think BBC have been so incredible in just creating the intimacy of the scenes, but also the capacity of, this extraordinary big story that is 1,500 pages, So, and Andrew Davies has just done an incredible adaptation of it because he's included all of the details that are in the novel somehow. 1,500 pages in just 6 episodes.
Yeah. I mean, you've gone from one big Disney production to another with Star Wars. Now, obviously, you're not going to tell us anything, I'm sure, but what's that experience been like, being part of that massive universe with such a huge fan base across the world?
What do you think it would be like to be in the final Star Wars movie? I saw the first one when I was 20 years old in 1977. So to actually be on it, I say to J.J. Abrams every time I work, just please pinch me, and he does. He said he feels the same, and he's 52, so he's 10 years younger than me. So that feeling of that you're in something that you've only dreamt about, you never imagined that you will actually be in them. So.
But obviously, it's a big Disney movie with lots of effects and lots of practicality. I mean, what was it like being a part of something that's so vast in terms of Disney?
Having worked on something like Gladiator, I knew on Gladiator when Ridley Scott was saying, Omid, can you hit this spot because camera 15 will pick you up? You know how big a film like The Nutcracker is when Lassie goes, Omid, please can you be here because camera 26 is not getting you. The scale of it is something that you have to... I'm hoping to see something very big, swooping, and visually very exciting.
So would you say, is the Sugar Plum Fairy kind of like being a Disney princess?
Yeah, it's like exploding a Disney princess in a big puffball of glitter.
And obviously it's amazing dress up. What do you like with dress up at home? Because you do this as your job, but I've got a daughter as well. So
we have we have tons of dress up at home. We've got lots of fairy costumes, we have witch costumes, we have Elsa costumes. We are full blown. There's tutus, you name it. We've got a dinosaur as well. Pirate. We've got the whole bit. It's normally me just dressing up. She's not very interested, but I love it.
And for young British actors, obviously you've done stuff in America, Nocturnal Animals, which was absolutely fantastic. I mean, have you enjoyed kind of going from one to another and being able to have that diversity?
Yeah, I've loved it. I'm very, very lucky, and I've had such a wonderful time.
And for audiences, I mean, what can they expect when they watch this movie on the big screen?
Audiences can expect a little bit of mystery, some excitement, and some Disney magic.
Yeah, fantastic. And if this is successful, are you prepared for sequels? Because Disney pride themselves with some sequels now and again.
Where can I knock on wood somewhere around here?
Because you're in the Disney family, have you rinsed them for every Disney thing you possibly need?
Yeah, I think I need to do more of that. I've suddenly realised now, having a 3-year-old, that I really need to go, no, she is a big fan of Moana, so what Moana stuff do you have? Because we need everything Moana. And Frozen, obviously. Yeah.
I think I need Lin-Manuel to come round to my house.
Everything. Oh yes, that's a good idea. I need every one of the actors to come over to my house and sing to my daughter. I think they'll probably say no to that, but you never know. You don't know unless you ask, do you?
Exactly. Thank you, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey!